Don't be shy, handsome. What can...
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu.
You seem to respect...
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself, as... Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach more...
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed.
A scientist?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy?
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but...
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern health.
Nuns should be the only...
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stone Bridge.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the...
As a true believer, Samuel will fear...
I have heard enough.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon.
Christina Popper claims...
Of course I do.
Do you think things...
I believe the situation...
I heard you're
Not much, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke...
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Duff.
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but
Really?
he went to the Nick.
He has no relatives?
No, except for that...
Where can I find...
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel.
Goodbye, Mr.
Good evening.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor.
If you...
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in the city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course,
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu?
Yes.
Most people fail to understand my perspective.
Are you aware that your life...
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I have...
May I...
Extraordinary.
What can you tell me about...
Darius Petrescu.
Not interested in your...
Darius is an old political...
May I ask you a few...
Extraordinary.
I'm looking...
Dorothy...
I'll leave you a... Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. A stubborn and mute comrade. I know you understand what I'm saying. Very well. The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in. Good evening, Chris.
Change your mind, Mr.?
Do you need any assistance?
It depends on...
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of...
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares. Doctor.
Right then.
You again? What do you want this time?
According to you, physicians are
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you?
This part of town does have quite a reputation.
Totally. Look at me, for instance.
Goodbye, Mr.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... How is business?
Business? I have no business. Between the...
I see.
It's no secret.
As a merchant, you...
What do you mean besides the...
Goodbye for now.
I know it's hard to believe, but this
You again?
always been wretched.
How did you become the local...
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards.
A job? So
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks.
you survive at any cost?
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your...
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here?
Goodbye, Mr.
Fancy buying some...
You never... Joe Peterson.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw it.
What can you tell me about Miss...
Colossus Joe was a decent...
It's never easy to find a new path in life.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we?
And no one has ever stood up.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
Have you heard of a
Nurse Crane? So the bitch rib...
Yes, she's a nurse.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like...
That doesn't explain why she...
Your precious Nurse Crane.
Goodbye for now.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look, don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So?
I'm not bothered.
Your father...
I was young then.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about...
I don't go out often.
But you...
Am I not?
How do you...
I'm fine. My father is...
Forgive my blunt...
Why should I?
This place is awful.
That's exactly what my father says.
If life here is so... So that's why...
I'm not afraid of the...
Do you know...
Yes?
Goodbye, young man.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So?
I'm not bothered.
Do you need any
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better with this.
I'm not sure I'm...
Goodbye, young...
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
You again?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
I've always put my son's interests above everything else.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson? Since the criminal nature...
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that...
Do you have any regrets?
Only one.